Aloha, everyone. Aloha Friday. My goodness, it's Friday already. Welcome to the Aloha Friday video podcast with the Sandwich Islands Social Network. My name is Kamaka Brown, and we are so pleased to have you on board. Thanks for joining us. And here we go. Music by Brittany Paiva. Thank you, Brittany, for sharing your amazing music right here on the Aloha Friday show with the Sandwich Islands Social Network. Hello there, this is Kamaka Brown. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Please be part of the conversation today. You have a means by which you can post. You can say hello, let us know what part of the Aina you are coming in from. And we have a lot of our wonderful friends that are joining us. I see Thyra Abraham has jumped in. Aloha, Thyra. Thanks for joining us today on the Aloha Friday show. So good. I am so pleased to have some special guests on the Aloha Friday show. When I got information from Nate Jones, who books all of our talent and all of the great people on the show, and said, Maxine Hong Kingston, I said, oh my goodness, where is she? She's in Oakland. Where is she? And no, she is in Manoa with her family. I went, oh my goodness. So I'm so delighted to share with you right now Maxine Hong Kingston and her husband, Earl Kingston. Good morning, you guys. Aloha.
Morning. Aloha.
Good morning.
You guys are so sassy sitting on your porch in Manoa. Oh.
We're glad to be home.
Yeah. There are worse places for sure.
That's for sure. So you have the birds in the morning. Are they the
Oh, yes.
Yeah, great thing to wake up to is the birds in the morning.
Yeah.
Get your
The parrots, the minahs, the finches,
the doves,
the Sharma thrush.
Ooh. Sometimes I go and visit some friends on the North Shore, and we get a rooster serenade starting at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Maxine, Auntie Maxine. There's so many things that I wanted to talk to you about and to share with you, but it all started and I took a look at you were a teacher at Kahuku out on the North Shore. And that's part of like my backyard because I was born and raised on the North Shore itself. What was that like going out to Kahuku in the days? This was in the mid 60s now. Tell us what that was like.
Oh, my. I felt that I had really come to the Pacific Islands, and it was unspoiled. The main influence there were the Tongans, and even for uh, for a high school assembly, they would have a they would have fire dance. I mean, the kids would do fire dancing, and and the spirit of aloha was so strong. I learned not to compliment anybody on anything, because if I say this is a this is a oh, I love your earrings, or isn't that a nice you have a nice watch. Oh, here it is, Auntie. So I don't say anything. But it was the aloha was so alive. Yes, and the Samoans were there too, and that power they have. And when you hear a ohana of Samoans singing the spirituals, uh, and it's a cappella, and you do feel the presence of God. I mean,
Yeah.
those voices were beyond human, so spiritual. So, boy, Kahuku in the 60s, very special place.
Aw. Now, when Earl, you and Maxine ended up on the island of Lanai initially when you came here. Is that correct? When you came
No,
from?
we
No.
ended up for no, we were staying with her sister who was
Ah.
here for a very short time.
Uh-huh.
We ended up in Kahaluu.
Oh,
We
okay.
drove around in a wreck of a car with our cardboard boxes in the back, looking for a place to rent. And we passed the hygienic store,
I
and
know where
then
that's at.
and you know where that is. And just a little past over the bridge into Kahaluu, we saw a for rent sign. It was above a grocery store, the Tang's grocery store, and it had three. It was plenty big for the three of us. So we said,
Oh,
okay, this is the spot. And what's amazing is you walk out in the morning and you're looking right up into the mountains, and you're looking
yeah.
at that beautiful curtain of green that ripples across. And we said, yeah, this is a good place to stop. So we unpacked our 6 or 7 cardboard boxes, and there we stayed for a few years.
Wow. Okay. All right. So country living out there on that side of the island, that's a special flavor and a whole different vibe for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
very different from where you came from when you're living on continental U.S. and then coming to Hawaii. Maxine, how were you able to, how did you process this style of living coming from continental U.S. and coming now to rural Hawaii?
Well, I was, leaving Berkeley, we felt we had to leave because the anti war demonstrations were getting so violent and everybody on drugs and that was no we didn't want to stay there and we thought okay let's let's leave America and go to a country that has a peace constitution, which
Hmm.
was Japan.
Hmm.
And so we headed for Japan, but halfway there we stopped in Hawaii
Ah.
and I thought wow, this is it, this is we want to say it's everything is close to the earth, everybody living with a aina. And so we did not get to Japan, but living there for a while, especially on the windward side, we began to realize, this is not paradise. This is the launching pad for Vietnam. Uh,
Hmm.
we're right across from Kaneohe Marine Corps Air Station. And every day, all the time, you see the planes take off for Vietnam.
Hmm.
And then comes the realization you can't run away. And so stay here, stay in America, and do what you can do. And one of the things we did was open up the Church of the Crossroads
Ah.
and welcome the AWOL soldiers.
Hmm.
That was the biggest sanctuary in America. And that's a Hawaiian tradition. The city of refuge on the Big Island. And then here in the 20th century is sanctuary at Church of the Crossroads.
Now, Maxine, you were actively involved in protests in when you're in the Berkeley area, which resulted in your getting arrested. Or what was the story there the
Well,
demonstrations? What happened?
this was during uh, this was during the America was getting ready to bomb Iraq. It was called shock and awe. And so this organization that came out of the Bay Area, uh, Code Pink, an organization of women, decided to go to Washington, D.C. and try to prevent the shock and awe. And, uh, and the idea was to to ring the White House, and 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 our main thing was save the children. Don't bomb the children. And so at that time, there there the police had put the yellow tape around the outside of the gate, and and so we broke through the tape and stood at the gate and did the protest. And the protests, everybody used their art, the dancing, the drums, the art, the poetry. That was our protest. But we broke through the tape. And so they arrested us and put us in jail. I was in a cell alone with Alice Walker for
Oh,
long times. Really got to know her, and I saw the cop who
wow.
put her into our cell. The cop was black, and he says, "My wife is gonna kill me. I'm arresting Alice Walker."
Oh
but
my.
but the
Oh.
bad part is that a few weeks later, shock and awe happened. You
Hmm.
know, thousands of tons of bombs falling, and there and then you start to think, well, does this peace stuff actually work?
Hmm.
And then you bring back hope. You think, well, an act of peace I do this morning will save someone on a far future battlefield.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Um, so early on, you already had established that you weren't just going to say just words, but you were going to back it up with action, with making a statement, and not only to the written word, but it sounds like early on this was something that you were determined to do, to make that mark. Yeah. Where did that come from, Maxine? How did that determination that you wanted to do something rather than just write about it or just think about it? Where did that come from?
I feel that I was born with it,
Hmm.
because I was born like a year after my mother was um, was in the bombing of Canton in China, and she was a medic, uh, and working on bodies and people. Comes to America, she has me, and I experienced. I was in. I must have also experienced the bombing in some way through her body, and then it's World War II when I'm born, and here I saw my cousins in uniform coming through as they went to war, and I saw the horrible pictures in Life magazine of the dead, and in the Chinese newspapers there were drawings of war and torture, and so as a kid right away I was thinking, I've got to do something, and every wish I had on every candle was peace, and so right away, all my life. Sometimes I think previous incarnation, on and on.
Sounds like that was part of your DNA already,
Mm,
right?
yes, yes,
It's
yes.
meant to be. Wow. I see the Manoa rain coming down behind you. I hear that.
Yeah, can you hear it?
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Right here.
I love that sound. Our friends can hear that. And while we're talking together here, our friends have jumped in here. And let me see. We have our good friend Thyra Abraham. It says Aloha Kamaka. She was a former resident of the islands as well. Lived on Oahu. Here is one of the kupuna of our ohana here. She says, we are here from Cerritos, California. Auntie Hetty and Uncle Larry. Auntie Hetty will later on tell you that she actually met you, and she'll tell her story a little bit later. She met you, and she was excited when she saw that you were going to be on. We'll save that story for just a little bit. We got Kay Bennett is saying Aloha Friday, everybody. Poalima. She's saying to all the ohana, saying hello. And let me see. There's also Marty Burns that's saying aloha. Welcome, Marty. Marty has his pop-up bakery, Broke Them Out Bakery. We love Marty's goods. He loves that. And let me see. We have Floyd Takeuchi. Aloha, Max and Carol. Floyd
Hi,
Takeuchi.
Oh,
Floyd.
hi, Floyd. Floyd was one of my students in my
Aw.
class.
How you going?
There's Floyd. Nice to see. Let's see who else has joined us. Hawaii 50 is sends his big smiles over here. He is saying hello there. He's all of his shaka signs. What's up, Hawaii 50? Welcome, welcome.
Hey,
And
Yeah,
let's
Earth
see.
in
I did a few 5-0s
He
in my
did
day.
five. He's
That's
a
right.
Hawaiian 5
Yeah.
So, Earl, you worked on the original Hawaii 50 with Jack Lord.
Yeah, that's right. Back in the 70s, I did about 3 shows. I think
Uh-huh.
I think there were 3 speaking parts. Um, Actually, all the actors, one from the university primarily, it did pretty well because we could learn our lines really fast. So we got them. You know, it was all pretty cheesy. It was great. It was fun. Immemorial cheese. It was wonderful stuff to watch. Also, latterly, I got to know Jimmy MacArthur, and he was a very, very sweet man. So hello to
Uh-huh.
Jimmy over the
Yeah.
years.
Did you work with Al Harrington at all?
I was never in a show with Al. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Had some great conversations with him before he passed away. What
Yeah.
a great gentleman as well.
He was.
For us over here on the continent, it's around noon, and I've got the munchies here. I don't know about you. I know it's earlier, but let's just say I jump on the plane and I end up over there in Honolulu, and I'm beyond hungry. I'm hangry, you guys, and I we need to go and grab some lunch over here. Where are we gonna go for lunch?
You go to Hachi Bay on Hotel Street,
Oh,
and
downtown.
yes, it's and what you get is authentic Fukuoka cuisine. It is
Ooh.
nothing like Japanese food that you get regularly. And we've been to Fukuoka, we've eaten the food there, and they have brought all of that here to Hawaii. Hachi Bay on Hotel Street. Okay, and for lunch, go to the Waioli Tea Room, which is just right there. It's just a few
Yes.
houses from our house.
At
And
5 corners.
it's at the corner of Five Corners. It's no longer called Waioli Tea Room. It's got another name,
Ah.
but it's something. Oh, I can't remember. Maybe it's something bake shop. But
Oh,
you'll find
okay.
it. Just go to Five Corners, and it's right there.
A lot of parking.
Yeah.
We used to go there for some great Sunday brunches there when it was still the Waioli
Oh,
Tea
Yeah.
Room.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still
Uh,
have that.
They
oh,
still have
okay.
that feel. It's very
Yeah.
pretty.
And they opened up other rooms so you could see the history of Manoa as you walk and around there and with pictures
Oh,
of
sweet.
of the way of the way that little rainforest used to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, guys. That reminds me about that. I didn't think that Waioli Tea Room was still happening there, but it's another name, but they still have great food service there and a great restaurant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Very good. Um, uh, Maxine, you have been um, designated um, as one of the living treasures of Hawaii. Living treasures. How did that make you feel when it said, we want to consider you and award you being a living treasure? What did that mean to you?
You know, as the ceremony was going on
Yeah.
with the chanting and the regalia and I all the time I'm thinking, but we're all living treasures. I mean, it's just that they recognize me, but I think, I mean, okay, I know that we have this Hawaiian Chinese thing about being humble, but it's really true. It's really true. I kept thinking, uh, we're all living treasures. It's just that they're giving me this ceremony, and I represent everybody, all these people
Oh.
on the island.
What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Now, you have been recognized for your work as an educator, as an activist, as an author. By You were given the Medal for Humanities from President Clinton right there at the White House. Anything you remember about that experience when you're awarded that Medal for Humanities? My.
Yeah. Well, meeting President Clinton and Hillary Clinton, they really, there's a golden glow around them.
Hmm.
It's not just that they're blonde, but there's this glow. And just before going into the ceremony, or there was a reception, and some Vietnam veterans had told me, when you meet Clinton, tell him it's okay that he tried to evade the draft during Vietnam.
Oh.
It's okay. It's a good thing to do. Okay, so when I talked to him, I said, veterans told me to tell you that, and he says, it looked like he had tears in his eyes, and he said, "Oh, I am." He says that makes I am so grateful because usually they think I'm a son of a bitch.
Let
Now,
me just throw in one little anecdote here,
yes,
my take
yes,
on it.
Earl. Yeah.
When you come in for the dinner, you go down a flight of stairs. At the top of the flight of stairs is like a butler, a doorman, a master of ceremonies, and he announces all the names of the people. And it's very like that scene in My Fair Lady, right? It's very regal. And you walk in and they say your name, and you walk down the stairs, and everybody looks. And then you look around the people standing there, and at least half of them have this look on their face as, can you believe it? It's like an awestruck. Half of the people still haven't gotten used to the fact that they are indeed in the White House. And it's this look of wonder and awe, and of course, extreme happiness to be there. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, that's very different from shock and awe. That's a whole
Very
different.
Yes,
different.
Yeah,
that's
I'm just
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
now, now, Maxine. We don't stop there because I also have some pictorial evidence of you receiving of you also receiving the Medal of Arts from President and Mrs. Obama. Tell us about that.
Well, in this picture, you see us laughing at each other because he says to me, he says to me, your writing taught me how to write. Your writing about yourself taught me how to write about myself. I thought, wow.
Wow.
And also, okay, look at that picture. Both of us, people from Hawaii. And
Huh.
and then we said aloha to each other, and we gave each other a aloha kiss, aloha hug. Yeah,
Oh.
that was a great moment. And later on, that Christmas, he gave his daughters the woman warrior for, oh, one of his daughters for her birthday. He gave her the woman warrior.
Oh.
So
Wow.
there's connection among all us Hawaiian people.
Tell us about now. Now you mentioned the woman warrior, which critically acclaimed. It is every time if anybody Googles your name, woman warrior, boom, it comes up right there every single time. Um, can you tell us just in a capsule, and I'd really like to encourage our ohana that's listening in and watching here today to pick up a copy of it. Um, Tell us a little bit about um, what moved you to want to tell this story about the woman warrior here.
Well, I'm a writer, and writers really have this feeling inside we got to blab everything. And i- in that book, the book starts off, "Don't tell anyone," my mother said, "what I'm about to tell you." And so my mother gave me an order not to tell. And so, of course, I gotta tell. And and so I tell I tell the family secrets. I tell the shameful things that happen, and the way I could sort of feel okay about it, if you can write it beautifully so that there's resolution, it's okay. The other thing is, I could get around my mother's stricture because don't tell what I am about to tell you. She tells it in Chinese, but
Okay.
I write it in English. So I didn't tell it the way she told it.
uh, Now I want to say
And
hello.
you know what? Just one thing.
Yeah.
It's Hawaii that gave me the translation for Talk Story. The Chinese have the same term, Gonggu Jai, and couldn't think of how to translate it. I got to Hawaii and I heard Talk Story, those words, and right away I put them in my book.
Gangu chai. Gangu chai.
Yeah, Gonggu
Wow.
Jai.
Gangu chai
Talk
means
Story.
talk story. I want to say hello to some other folks that have jumped in right over here. Here is Kahi'ao. She's saying, Aloha kako. Welcome, Kahi'ao. Nice to have you join us. And Also, Loke is here. Loke says,
Oh,
Aloha.
hey,
Okay,
Loke.
we love you.
Oh, here is a great slack key player right here. Shak and Awe. Shaka and Awe. T. Dan Hostad. He is an animator and also a great singer songwriter, plays great slack key guitar, lives here on the continent with us. And here is Carly from Waikiki. Hey, Carly. Nice to have you drop in. She's got traveling feet. Carly was here in San Diego when I saw her last, and she's now on the island. And here's her friend Laura. Hey, Laura. Happy Aloha Friday to you, Laura. Thanks for joining us. And also, Mike Nuesca. What's up, Mike? Mike's my neighbor, just lives about 15 minutes away from me. Great show, Kamaka. Well, thank you. Thank you. For those of you who just joined us, we are talking with Maxine Hong Kingston and Earl Kingston about their life and about their adventures, and it's been a fun ride. My goodness. Now, Earl,
Yes.
as an actor, sir, you
Mm.
have you've got quite okay. I was looking at two shows that you did. One was a one-man show called Down the Great Unknown, and it was this about John Wesley Powell. Give us a little
Mhm.
capsule of what this one-man show was about and why you chose, or did they choose you, or how did this happen for this one-man play that you did?
Well, a friend of mine was doing John Muir in Yosemite Valley. He's been doing it for quite a few years. John Muir, the great naturalist. Um, and he approached me. We had worked together many times here in Hawaii, and he wanted to know if I wanted to act in a one-man show about John Wesley Powell that he was writing. And I said, yeah, I'd like to do it, but I don't know this guy. So he said, you must. And he gave me books to read.
Ah,
And I found this guy really fascinating. The first, I guess, white man, you could say, to go down the Colorado River. There was a long, long part of the Colorado that was unknown. It had never been explored.
Mm.
And so John Wesley Powell, who was a Civil War veteran with only one arm, he had lost it at the Battle of Vicksburg, he decided he was going to get together a company of men and go down the Colorado. And so the show starts off with him talking to a bunch of really con men, businessmen, who are trying to sell Americans on 20 acres and a mule out in this West. As you know, you look out the window, is a lot of desert. And the West was a desert. And John Wesley Powell was against doing this. So he talks to this convention and tells them how it's a bad idea. But in the meantime, he's relating his adventures on the river, and incredible adventures they are. So it was great fun. We took it to the Park Service at the Grand Canyon and pitched it, and they said, yeah, come and do the show. So every summer from 1990 to about 1996, Maxine and I would get our gear together, our cardboard boxes, and put them in the trunk. And we lived within ranger housing. So we would go down the river and we would bring friends and family, and they would stay with us, and we'd hike all over the place and
Wow.
go down part of the river. So it was great fun being there and discovering a part of the country that I knew nothing about, and also discovering a lot of the background of the Indians who lived there. Um, and you know, a lot of people go to the Grand Canyon, they take a photo, and they leave. And really, it's best to do more than that.
Mm.
At the very least, to walk down below the rim and get a sense of that country, to get up early in the morning and just sit at the rim and meditate,
Wow.
or to, at twilight, to listen to the bats. The bats come out at twilight, and the ravens are diving against each other and playing in the air. It's a beautiful place to be. I don't regret at all those wonderful summers that we had there.
What an
Okay,
adventure.
one more thing, and that is we must give credit to the writer and producer of Down the Great Unknown, and that is Lee
Oh, I mentioned
Stetson.
him.
No, you didn't. It's
I did.
Lee,
Oh,
Lee
I thought I did.
Stetson. He is a Kama'aina, and he did much work. He's the founder of one of the founders of the Manoa Valley Theater,
Yes.
Yeah,
and he wrote Down the Great Unknown,
Got it.
and he plays John Muir.
yeah.
Yeah.
He did a lot more 5-0s than I ever did. He's every other 5-0 he's in there. You'll see
uh,
Lee.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know the name, and I've met him once when I was living on the island. I want to go back to Woman Warrior for just a moment because as I was going through and some of the stories about this, I came across this no name woman. I was part of your family that you did not know about, and there's quite an amazing story. It's a sad story that wasn't supposed to be told, or tell us about No Name Woman here, Maxine.
Well, I did hear some of her story from my mother, but it's from the point of view of don't ever get. She tells it to us as we're going through puberty. Don't don't get pregnant, or you're gonna have to commit suicide. And
Okay.
so so the background of this is an auntie who had who had done all those things and and then jumped into the family well and killed herself.
Mm.
Okay, so that was uh, the first big writing that I did that got published, and and I wrote it because the whole idea of the punishment that the village gave to her was that she be forgotten, that nobody tell her story, nobody speaks her name, and she will be forgotten forever. And so it was up to me as a writer to break the silence, break the kapu, and 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 give her a history and a story and get it out there, and in a way bring her back to life. And uh, and now, the first idea was, well, forget her, as if she never existed. But now I've got this story that's out there, it's worldwide, and she is existing in the minds of people all over the world.
Now, what was your mother's reaction when she found out that you told her story?
Well, what happened was, see, this is in English, and my mother does not speak or read English, and so I thought I was free. But then the Chinese translated it, and it came out in a Chinese edition.
Uh-huh.
And you know, the Chinese, when they pirate something and translate it,
Yeah.
they do it fast. They do it as fast as they can. They use old forms, uh, and and they make it sound like a soap opera. And the whole thing is softer. It's
Oh.
not as angry and dynamic and violent as I tell it. And so my mother read the Chinese version,
Uh-huh.
and she says, "Wow, this is really good."
Oh.
And I go,
Here's Kahiao, and she says, Auntie, I already ordered your book and it'll arrive here tomorrow. Oh,
"Oh
that's
God,
wonderful.
oh
That's
thank you,
Kahiao.
thank you, thank you."
Yeah. Here's Kahiao goes on to say, she says, I think a lot of these stories that we don't talk about resonates more with women more than we realize. Some carry it as trauma only till they are much older to recognize it. Hmm.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is true, Marie. And in what I feel is that you don't have to carry it as trauma. You can carry it in a story. You can write it out, and it's secret, but you find the words for it, you write it out, and in the writing, you come to understanding and you come to resolution. That happens as you write. Um, this is the method that I am using with PTSD veterans, and it works. So don't carry the trauma. And this is, there's big trauma when you go through something terrible and you can't speak it. Speaking it is one way to get it out. But a lot of us can't do that. And so do this silent thing of writing it down, and it works. I
Um,
guarantee.
I have to tell you, as you speaking this, I'm getting chicken skin, as we say, and I'll tell you why. Kahiao works for the Veterans Administration. She works with veterans
Wow.
at the hospital every single day. And so the fact that you shared that right now, I think Marie is having chicken skin the same time that I am, just for you to share that. That is so beautiful. Thank you so
Okay. Oh,
much.
that is amazing to know that Marie, that you actually work with veterans. I have been working with the veterans for 30 years, and I keep a sangha or ohana. They gathered as an ohana, and we have been together for more than 30 years. And I tell you, every single one of them are at peace, at a better place now than when they had their trauma. And we find them, they find a partner. So many of them have become pacifists. So I thank you for your work, Marie.
Here she says, as a veteran myself, storytelling is very valuable. We have storytelling groups here too. So that's so beautiful. That's
Oh,
so
good.
beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marie, knowing that you were a woman vet, I just want to tell you that recently, women vets coming home, they don't want, they did not want to meet with my group because a lot of them are men. They don't want to be with men. And so, under the guidance of some women who were with us, they started their own group for women only. And so that's something to think about too. Women vets who, every single one of them has been sexually harassed by our own people and by our own troops. And so this is one reason why they find their healing better when they are with women,
Yeah.
with their sisters.
She says, "Thank you for your support of veterans, Auntie." Oh my goodness, I'm getting major chicken skin over here. This is so
Thank
beautiful.
you for your
Thank you.
support of veterans, Marie.
um, Here's a great friend of mine who lives in the Berkeley area. He says, "I'm a huge fan of Maxine Hong Kingston. I read her works in college and just fell in love." Patrick Lendeza is a wonderful musician. He plays slack key. He also has a lifetime award from the Hawaiian Grammys in Honolulu, and he plays music beautifully. And he remembers, he says, "I'm a huge fan of
Oh,
Patrick."
thank you, Patrick.
Uh,
Congratulations to you.
oh, stop it, Patrick. I'm a huge fan of Kamaka too. Cut it out now, Patrick. Oh, and we're talking about some of the wonderful things. There's I want to share just one more thing over here before we go on break over here. And when we come back, we have some other things I want to share. But Maxine, Maxine, it says that, and I read this and it was so amazing. Maxine Hong Kingston has shifted American culture, keeps relative, and tells stories about creating your own identity and not settling for the one the world tries to give you. I think that's just a wonderful capsule of your work in terms of storytelling. And often you have been said that you have, and I saw this term, fusion fiction. Let's talk about that when we come back from the break. Fusion fiction. Remember that, all right? We'll be right back. If you just joined us, we're talking with Earl Kingston and Maxine Hong Kingston from their home in Manoa. Thanks for joining us. We will be right back after these words.
Blazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime. Oh, save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me. 'Cause I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime.
Oh my goodness. I have to tell you, the Kinks, Ray Davies and the Kinks, one of my
Yeah.
favorite 60s band. And what we have on our screen right now is Joe Kingston.
Hi,
Hi, Joe, welcome, welcome. And who do you have with us? Who do we have with
my
us?
daughter Haname.
Hana
Say hi.
May.
Say hi.
Hana May is going to start at Manoa Elementary, right?
Oh, she did a couple weeks ago. She started.
A couple of weeks ago. Hey,
Yeah, she's in
Hana May,
her third week
how,
right
how do you like school, Hana May?
Good.
Good. Okay, that's good. That's great. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining us, you and Hana May.
Thanks for having us.
So tell me a little bit about your musical influences. I know you play around town. You're also on cruise ships as well. Um,
Yeah. Oh, well, it all started when I was 19, and I just had this theory that,
He's 16.
yeah. So I had this theory that there was a demand for bass players in the Hawaii music business, and I thought that if I bought a bass and figured it out, that I could be a professional bass player for the rest of my life, because you didn't have to be good, you just had to be decent. That was my theory. That there was such a demand, and I wouldn't even have to sing. I would just have to kind of know how to play bass, and I could do it for the rest of my life. And I made up my mind to do that, to get a bass and figure it out. And I never even touched the bass. I knew nothing about music, and I knew nothing about the Hawaii music business. It was just a hunch. And it turned out that there was a big demand for bass players. And I got this idea because I would thump the pakini, the wash tub, once in a while.
yes, yes,
When
yes,
friends
yes.
are playing, I would just mess with that, and it just gave me that. Through the bikini, I felt like, wow, I think I could figure out how to play an actual bass, and I bet there's a demand for bass players. And I figured, okay, it would take me a couple years to figure it out, but I could have like 40 years of doing that if I started at 19, so that's how I
So
jumped in bass.
where did the foot bass come in here? How did that evolve into that there, Joe?
Well, I was playing on cruise ships, and there was this piano player that he had the bass pedals, and it was the first time I saw it in a lounge act, because I knew they did that in church. They had those kind of big church organs with the bass pedals, but that's
Yeah,
the first time I saw it in a lounge act. I saw a guy playing it with the piano, and then I saw a guy around Waikiki playing it with the guitar and the
right.
pedals. And I just try with the ukulele. I bet it would work. So yeah. Anyways, not too many people use that anymore. It's kind of a lost thing. I don't see anybody using them nowadays.
Yeah,
Loopers and drum machines, and that stuff's really complicated to me.
that's
So
very
I just
cool.
like the bass pedals.
But you have to be barefoot, though. I mean,
Yeah,
so
well,
you
I
can
do it
really,
with socks. Yeah, when I
yeah.
don't want to scare anybody with their clothes. So yeah, I use long pants and socks on the gigs.
Oh, Haname, Haname, can you see this picture, Haname?
Yeah, look at that. There's you with the purple
Ha-
hat.
Haname, what's happening here? Who's this strange family?
Who's that, Hanami? How about the little one? Who's the little one?
Who's
My
that?
brother.
Yeah,
Oh, your brother. Why is he making that munku munku face?
he
What's
does
going?
that sometimes. He's he gets a little camera anxiety thing going.
That's a great picture. I love it, and we're seeing Haname live and direct. Yes, you're. That was so cute. You got your hands crossed with your little purple crown. Do you still have the purple crown, Haname? You still have it? No?
No.
No? Okay. All right.
You know, we really are royalty. We really are. And we are direct descendants of the Song dynasty. So,
Aha.
you know, we
I
could have.
think it only counts in China though.
It doesn't even count in China because
Yeah, yeah.
we got
It
communists
only
now.
counted in China a long time ago. Yeah.
Let me see. I wanted to share a quote here, and I have up a quote uh, by you, Maxine. We're all under the same sky and walk the same earth. We're alive together during the same moment. Um, share your thoughts with that. You have your family, your daughter there, your son. We're all under the same sky and same earth.
Grandson.
Mhm.
I'm the
Grandson.
grandson. It's your grandma.
Grandson. Yes. Oh, Hana May was reading along with you.
Yay!
Well, what I there are
Mama's the grandson.
so many ways to think of this. You know,
Are you a grandson?
we
Son.
are.
No, you are.
Okay, let's start with our family right here, this
Uh-huh.
family. And right away, oh, maybe here's one way to think about it. Um, Joseph married Saki Shirakawa. In there, that is a family that made swords for the samurai. And now, when the samurai swords were outlawed during World War II, they continued making steel products. Well, in my Chinese family, my grandfather was bayoneted by a Japanese soldier. And years later, not that many years later, a Chinese family marries Japanese family, and here we are. And so first there's war, and then we're in love. We're all married. We're in one family, and then so Hana May is Chinese, Japanese, Jewish, Portuguese, and Irish. Irish.
Russian.
Russian, because the Jews came through Russia. So she's
Italian.
You're not
no,
Italian.
you're not Italian.
You're Portuguese.
Okay, and then
Portuguese.
and then in the rest of the family, we have blacks, we have a Muslim, we have a Palestinian, and so just in our little family, there's people from all over the world. Okay, and then you extend it. Okay, now, and then in,
Look at those.
but there's another way. I read in scientific, American, what?
The fish. She's pointing at the fish.
Oh, she's pointing.
Never mind the fish.
She's pointing at the fish. Okay, okay. In Scientific American, it says if you took somebody from the other side of the planet, they are no further away from you than 22nd cousin. So it's scientific,
Wow.
and then we can think about it spiritually too. I mean, we are all human beings, and we share this earth, and we are kin, and kin comes from the same root word as kind, and so it behooves us to be kind to our
We are
kin.
kind.
You got that behoove.
She says we are. Okay, so
I love it.
if we can be connected with kindness and kinness.
Wow.
Okay.
Got that, Haname?
So
And the most important thing is that if you're 1/16 Portuguese, you're Portuguese. Okay, because that just overpowers everything. You are a Portuguese.
Yeah, she's
Just
So we are all under the same sky. We walk the same earth. We're alive together during the same
Yes, that's
moment.
true.
Oh,
Is
Very
yes.
true.
True.
She said
Yeah,
it's very
it's
true.
very, it's very, very true. Uh, Here says, and this is a quote from you, Maxine. I'm
I
so
love that
proud that my
house.
offspring became a musician. I'm full of awe that we're able to have a whole family live the life of artists. Ah, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Mhm.
Um, Joe, so how does this lineage now play into your music? I mean, what kind of influence does this have as you approach your music, as you um, either select the music that you're going to play, or do you write your own music as
Yeah,
an artist?
well, yeah, I do write songs, and I like to think it comes from my mom, even though it's
Let me
completely
go.
politically incorrect stuff that
I
I write.
wanna.
So it depends on the venue, but most of the time I don't bust out those rated R or worse
Okay.
songs. And then speaking of lineage, she plays piano and she's singing, so I think she got a little bit of that. And then I
Ah,
got, and then my dad was always into like standards stuff from the '40s and which I like. And then when I was singing on cruise ships, I got exposed to that a lot more too. Those uh those big
Ghost.
'40s standard songs.
Ghost.
Ghosts? What are you talking about?
You saw ghost.
Yeah, they're well. It was old. Yeah, I worked on the Independence and the Constitution was kind of old. So there's ghost stories. That's what she's talking about.
And
ah.
But we won't
ghosts,
get into that right now. We won't get into ghost
but
stories.
ghosts do connect because ghosts are
That's true.
ancestors.
Yes.
We're talking about ancestors, ghosts,
Mhm,
same, same.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I caught some of the writing gene, and I think you
Uh-huh.
got it too because you're always making up songs and
And she
singing
makes
stuff.
and
No. Do
okay.
not talk about.
Oh, do not talk
Uh,
about her. Can I talk about Malu? And
So
he's
you can talk about me, but not about the songs.
oh, I
Ah,
can.
talk about.
well,
Well,
um,
little Malu also.
Hana May,
Yeah.
Kayao says Italian. She's adorable. See, and Auntie Kayao says that you're just adorable. Here's Nate Jones. Here's Nate Jones. He says, "Hello, Maxine, Earl, and Joe. Thank you for appearing on the show. Maxine, I was part of Napua staff my senior year. Napueo, the owl. I
Oh
was
yeah.
I I was part
Yeah.
of the Napueo staff my senior year at MidPac 94 to 95. How about that?
Oh, Nate, so you are a mid-pack person too. You are a whale owl.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what? I have found mid-pack people all over the world. It's just,
All over the
you know,
world.
we are
Oh,
we at mid-pack are doing very well. You too and me too.
Didn't you work with
yeah.
the Napoeo
let
Napueo.
me go.
a bit,
Yes,
or
I
you would
did. I
advise
did.
them or
I
stuff?
did advise
Hmm.
Napueo, but it was in 1970s.
Uh-huh.
And
Um,
Floyd Taku, you were there too.
Here's Kayao said, "This time talking story has been so good for my soul and spirit today. I am hanging on to every word. I love it." She says, "Mahalo, Auntie."
Love it too.
Aw, that is so
Thank you
beautiful.
so much.
And to have Hana May with us, that's so special. I love it. I
Oh,
love
my
it.
breath.
um, Auntie Maxine, you have been called the most influential Asian American author of the 20th century. Um, that is how impactful, and even among our little ohana right here, our group, of how you've affected them, in your writing. This term, fusion fiction. Tell me how that term came about, and it's in some of the reviews say that you have brought fusion fiction in your writing.
Well, it that has given lots of people many problems,
Oh,
including me.
oh,
The When I first published there were reviews, very uh, bad reviews.
no.
Reviews were criticizing me in a negative way, in that they cannot. Is she writing fiction or is she writing nonfiction? We can't
Hmm.
tell. In fact, there is a copy of The Woman Warrior. It's in the front, it says nonfiction. and in the back it says fiction. So this has confused a lot of people. There's been criticisms that what is this? This is a pig in a poke. We
Oh,
we don't know what she's doing. It's neither fiction nor nonfiction. What is it?
hmm.
And and
It's nonfiction.
oh, it's a very good place for Hannah to talk. You know, the third week of first grade,
Yeah.
and they are reading books, and they have to write whether it's fiction or nonfiction. So
Ah.
so at this age, they are learning that there is a duality, or there's a split between these two
Yeah, I
genres.
noticed some of hers
Ow!
that they gave her are kind of in between, or it
Yeah,
could be either, just like yours,
yes, it could be either,
or both.
but they are told that it either has to be F or NF. Okay, so this same problem was everywhere at the beginning. But then as time went by, people started saying, "Oh, she's written a way that a good." Oh, as Obama said, "You have taught me how to write about myself." Uh, to me, to know a person very well, you have to know what they dream about. You have to know what they dream about, and what their dreams are, what their inner thoughts are, and are your dreams fiction or are they nonfiction?
Fiction.
Ah.
Hannah says it's fiction. So, and and the feminists were saying, "Oh, this is a way that women can write because we don't have to write adventure stories.
Hmm?
We can write what's going on inside our feelings." Okay, so then people are saying, then I have made up a complete new genre, which
Genre.
is non, you know, there there were two role models I had, and that's Norman Mailer
Ooh.
and well, what's his name that wrote in Cold Blood?
Truman
Truman Capote.
Capote.
Truman
Truman Capote.
Capote. Truman Capote. Both of them said they were writing a nonfiction novel, and creative nonfiction. So all these new terms, or as you say, fusion fiction, fusion something,
Mm.
and so I am accused or accredited with the idea of inventing a new genre. I am also indebted to the Latina writers, because they're talking about a border, and the border. Okay, there's that border between our countries, but there's also this border between fiction and nonfiction, and they're saying make the border wide, and in the middle is where we live. Okay.
You know, I think the best storytelling, the best stories that we tell are the ones that live right in that wide border, you know?
Yes, that's
Right?
right.
Right? And
Yes, and Australian Tom Keneally, he said that the best stories coming from his students are the people that are at the threshold. And to
yeah.
me, that threshold, okay, it's our political borders, but there's that threshold between dream and reality, between crazy and sanity. You know, that border, that's very creative.
Yeah.
That border where you can break the taboos.
Oh, this
Area.
is this has been
Gray area.
so, this has been so beautiful, such an amazing. Joe, thanks so much for sharing your music with us and telling us about your music.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you have a website, joekingston.com?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if any of our
Hopefully,
friends,
it's still there.
It is
Yahoo!
there. I looked it
It's there.
up.
okay, and
It's there.
and Haname also has an appearance in her classroom, Mondays to Fridays at Manoa Elementary,
Yeah.
and yes, Yeah, very
Performing.
good. Performing.
Today I'm off school.
Yes, you're off today.
Up
Oh,
today. Um, I the
That's
hour
what
has
I did.
the hour has
But
gone
my
by
brother,
so quickly. I don't know. There was so much more we wanted to talk about. I had copious notes over here, but I do want to just share this over here. That one last thing here, Maxine. You were quoted as saying you're going to release your final work after you die. What?
well, I am
she's
80.
not.
I'm 83 years old, and
Oh my.
somewhere
She's
in there,
86.
I was thinking, I if I decided that I would write and not publish until 100 years after I die, then it'll free me to write anything. I can
Ah.
talk sting. I could I could be petty. I could be mean. Right? I could write the forbidden, and and that's why I have this idea. Yes.
Oh, I love
And
it.
I thought I would call it something like posthumously yours.
Oh my, that is so beautiful. Thank you, mahalo nui, for coming on to the Aloha Friday show. It's been such a wonderful. It's been a treat. Thank you, Joe. Thank you,
Thank you.
Haname, and Earl.
Thank
I know
you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Earl is in the wings there. Hey, Earl, thank you so much for joining us. We had the Kingston
You're quite welcome here, my host.
we had the Kingston Quartet here
The
to,
quartet.
from Maui. Auntie Hetty says a joyful interview, fascinating. Auntie Hetty was the one that said that she had met you at uh, I forget. Auntie, we have a moment. Why don't you share? Go ahead and let us know when that was. Here's Kahi'ao, and she's saying, "Oh, gee, this is really giving me chicken skin. I have so many takeaways to share with my tribe. Yay!"
Hey.
Oh, wow. Our
Ah,
tribe.
yes, 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 yes. And all kinds of smiles here from Kay Bennett on the east wing of the of the Hale over here. And I was just going to share that Marie said that Amazon has you listed both as fiction and nonfiction. Um,
You know what? I,
Where
in
do you
my
go?
Buddhism, I am learning non-duality. Non-duality. There is
Ah,
no duality. There is
duality.
no such order between fiction and nonfiction. But that is against what they're learning in the first grade.
Well, you will set them straight there, Maxine. Here's
More sales.
Auntie Hetty says she met you at a book signing in Long Beach, Cerritos Libraries. Ah, many years
Oh,
ago.
wow. Well, I'm
Yes.
glad we here, Hetty.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Hetty.
Well,
Hey, Heavy.
thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks for
What
having
a
us.
Thanks for
what
having
what a
Friends.
beautiful, beautiful family, and thank you for
great
sharing
time
that.
together.
Big,
Thank you.
big,
Aloha.
big mahalo.
Aloha.
Say
It's
mahalo to all of you. Take care. Aloha no. Good night. Good afternoon, everyone. Have a great Aloha Friday, guys.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Wow. You know what? That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Here.